Hey everyone, it's the last day in March 2025. There's Mount Elephant Head. We're in Crawford Notch, New Hampshire today. Right over here is the very beginning of the Saco River that goes into Maine. It starts small here, gets bigger as it goes through the valley. As it goes through the valley, they filled it in with a road, so it temporarily goes under the road in a tunnel there before opening back up. I saw a few years ago during the drought, this part completely dried up all the way down the valley. Then it started gaining a little bit of flow. There's been times it's been flowing so much it'll flood through this parking area right here. It'll erode a whole ton because it can't fit under the pipe here. I've seen it bad in those times too. But I made a post about a week ago when I was driving through here showing there was so much mud on the surface, and some of it's still there. It got buried a little bit. I don't know how much snow was here, but I got about 8 inches last weekend and it's been quickly melting. So now this is kind of cool. You see the river is flowing over the ice, not under it through the pond. So there's a bunch of small streams that feed it, and then it becomes the Saco River right here as it goes over the little dam. So there's a dam here, so I'm guessing this is completely man-made. It's small, but it's still considered a lake. I'm not going to walk on it. I do not think it's safe to do so. But that mud will eventually just sink down to the bottom. You see it there? It was very distinct over the white snow a week ago, all this dark mud, but I didn't get out to make a video. But today I'm noticing, look at all that fresh snow, piles of ice. So basically the little stream up in the woods here was frozen. As soon as it got warm today, it started to flood. It broke up all the ice and left it over there. We're gonna go look at it real quick before it gets dark. Cool little bridge here. This is actually a very cool trail. It looks like this bridge here has had better days. Getting a little bit rotten. And we have unclogged this before. I've seen Beavers build a dam here which starts to flood the nearby parking lot. Oh wow. Seriously? Only one person walked this trail since it snowed. In the summertime, trails like this will be so packed you'll be passing someone every other minute on them. Wow, this is cool. So this riverbed here didn't even get the chance to thaw out. It's just flowing over the frozen ice, and it's slowly starting to break it up. It's a little discolored. Some nasty water's getting released out of somewhere. This is a beautiful trail. It's got all kinds of boardwalks on it. I love trails where there's slush. I'm always wearing rubber boots. They're just handy, and I never get cold in them like people ask me all the time. Not even in the winter. If it's really cold, I'll just wear thicker pants. Wow, this is really icing up here. It's this next flow that released all the ice we're gonna go look at. Let's see if I can get across this. If I flood my boots, it's okay. In the winter, they usually just become a wetsuit after enduring a few minutes of them being very cold. Oh my gosh! I see it moving. We actually get to see some ice. Now, I'm not sure if it's flowing underneath me or not. I'm not gonna get seriously hurt if it breaks. Nothing here's deep, but I just heard a gush. Yeah, there's still gushes of ice coming down here. And look at this hollow birch tree. That's cool. Now this is some slushiness here. If you notice, the riverbed is unusual here. It comes out of this little valley, but then the riverbed here is now higher than everywhere else because a bigger mudslide a few years ago with all these rocks came down the mountain. This has actually been the most gentle spring thaw I have ever seen in my life. We're in the area checking a bunch of culverts that usually have issues this time of year. Not a single one. This area had snow over my waist deep a couple weeks ago. It's all gone. I don't think we're gonna get serious flooding this spring. This spring has a gentle thaw. Yeah, it's still frozen down in there. Days like this I love because every time the wind blows, suddenly it feels like someone opened the oven. Then it feels like someone opened the refrigerator. Back and forth, because there's no snow except in the woods. Like, the surrounding area doesn't have any snow. This is a very high point of elevation right here. So every time there's a big breeze, it just gusts a bunch of warm air up in here. But yeah, as I'm standing here, I feel a bunch of pieces of ice slanting into me. It's still breaking up the ice. But that's really cool. If you can see, the riverbed's actually higher than the surrounding woods. So it kind of had like a mudslide and it eroded a little channel just to keep itself up here. Ooh, getting hit by more ice. So let's follow this down. The trail has been messed up here for a couple of years now. They never, like, put in a solution as far as a boardwalk. What used to exist here got washed away. I don't know if it's downriver or sunken out there in the pond somewhere. Or the lake. Yeah, the riverbed is still frozen. The water is supposed to be flowing under that ice, but it can't fit, so it eroded the snow. That's really cool. There's a big chunk of wood. I think we're getting back to the boardwalk. Now that it's getting cooler in the day, the snow's not melting as rapidly, so it's actually fitting under the ice now. But you can see earlier it was flooding over the top and it left all of this snow and chunks of ice all over the place. That's really cool to see. And maybe those footprints are from someone else coming over here because they didn't continue, or maybe they were intimidated by all the water here and they didn't have rubber boots. I thought this was a piece of wood from far away, that perfectly square rock. It's not. This trail has more boardwalks up here. It's got a beaver lodge. We'll walk it a little bit since I don't have time to check any more locations around here today. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So it looks like, see that? There's a whirlpool right there. It was able to eat through certain areas of the frozen lake and find its way in. Yeah, the flowing water, some of it's going down into holes, like right here. It's actually going down inside of a hole, so only some of it's making it over the water to the little bridge. Behind me we have some steeper cliffs with the nice trail hugging it here. Yeah, the snow's not bad at all. It's only a couple inches deep. I think the snow's going to be completely gone by the weekend. Yeah, there's even water underneath there. That's really cool. Tomorrow's going to be above freezing. Not really much. Today was about 50 degrees or 10 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow's going to be 35 degrees or 2 degrees Celsius. But then tomorrow night is going to be 12 degrees or -11 Celsius. So we got a really, really cold day coming. This area here, because of the elevation, it might be in the climate zone where June 15th is the growing season. It might be June 1st, but just because of the elevation, I think it might be in the higher. These right here, it's potentially moose tracks, because I don't see human tracks out here. Got a nice waterfall here. And I'm actually walking on top of snow drifts, so it's very unpredictable at this point. More beautiful cliff with some nice plant cover. I didn't expect to be going on a hike today, but here we are. See that boardwalk there? I made a video of the trail years ago. Nothing's changed. Even in normal conditions, it's kind of muddy because these boardwalks need to be kind of lifted up. They've all kind of sunk. So even in good conditions, they're not really handling the water properly. I don't think I'm gonna go all the way around on this trail, but I do kind of want to bring you to an overlook if it is safe. Now this part of the trail during normal conditions sketchy because it goes over a couple feet of water and it used to tip a little bit, but no one's ever knocked it over. I wouldn't walk out here on the ice. It might be safe just because of the elevation here, but just because of the temperature we're experiencing currently, I'm not going to even attempt to go on that ice. Very dangerous to do so. Now you see right here how something's melting that. I don't see a stream coming in, but I'm assuming because it's a gully, there's water flowing under the ground and it's coming out right here. And the flowing water is harder to freeze. It's also the first place to defrost. So now we're gonna carefully traipse through here. I know there's boardwalks. There could be water under certain places here. Oh wow, the beavers had fun on this tree. The beaver lodge is coming up. They won't be relocating these beavers because people like to come see them. And these beavers seem to be more reasonable. They don't often create a dam like I mentioned down there. It's a rare occurrence when they decide to dam it up. We also got a lot of interesting trees. I do love exploring and hiking in the White Mountains. Yeah, I do believe this could have been a moose. Maybe. Or this, actually, that could be a rabbit or a snowshoe hare. Yeah, that might be a snowshoe hare. That's more likely because of how close together they are, yeah. Back there was deep, though. It looked like something with pressure really hit that. Yeah, false alarm. I don't think it was a moose. Got some beautiful ice up here, too. I don't think the sun shines in here, so that'll last a lot longer. Okay, wow. The Beaver Lodge got a lot bigger since I've been out here. It's probably been 2 years since I've made a video at this place. And here's some old stone stairs going up to a sketchy railing. We will actually try to go up there. There's not as much ice as I thought. Wow, this is impressive. This is very impressive. I got pictures of my grandfather and me as a kid standing here pretending that we're holding that up. The Beaver Lodge used to be there in the middle of those rocks. Oh wow, I gotta snap that picture. That is beautiful looking. Maybe I can get a better angle. No, that was actually accidentally perfect. That looks just so serene here. So this is definitely an active Beaver Lodge. And look, people can almost barely get by on the trail now. Yeah, this is very, very active. They're in there right now. Beavers don't hibernate. They'll come out under the ice. So how does a beaver survive the winter? Well, they're very busy in the warmer months, but in the winter it's their break time. But they don't hibernate. They do sleep around a lot, but they'll come out, swim underneath the ice, and underneath the ice they have a whole bunch of nice sticks that they stuck in the bottom of the lake, stuck it in the mud. When they're hungry, they go underneath, grab a stick, bring it up in here, chew all the bark off it. When they're done, they go back underneath, just leave it some random spot, go get another one. So when a lot of these ponds defrost, you'll have random sticks with the bark removed floating around everywhere, which they will typically recollect unless they float away once the ice is gone and try to build with it. Sometimes beavers will even abandon their home if they run out of food. Like here, I'm honestly surprised that they're still staying here for multiple reasons. So first, the tourist. This is a very popular trail. They probably got used to that though, clearly, since they're building right here on the trail. But at the same time, don't seem to have their favorite food anywhere. So So everything you see here is balsam fir trees. They will build with this, but they don't prefer it because when they cut these trees to build stuff with, they have to taste the sap. They don't like that. They especially don't like cedar, but they will bite it and build with it if they're forced to. I've always loved that tree up there. Look at that. Look at that. That is cool. Now here's another bridge. Now this is kind of like the one back there. That was kind of snowy, so we couldn't really see it. And this is the most exciting part of the trail. Now it won't follow the lake anymore. It goes into the woods and has a couple stream crossings. Then it goes to the main road where you could turn around or walk the road. There's also, I think, a junction along it for a bigger hike. I think Mount Jackson's behind me. I think that's the trail. Here's some dripping water. I bet there's an awesome icicle here in the winter months. All right, now the stairs. I don't see any ice. I see mostly melting snow. Got to be careful a little bit here because these are snow covered and slightly slanted. I don't know if I want to go up this or not. Let's see. At least I've got things to grab onto. Might be a little sketchy on the way back. There's a railing up here for a good view. And I'm just going to be on the safe side. I'm not going to go up here, especially up there. Look how slanted that is. And that railing's super old, but the pipe is so thick, it'll probably be there even when I'm super old. So yeah, I'm gonna go back down. This is kind of slippery. If I had ice cleats, this would be a different story. But I just wanted to see the mud flows. So I'm getting down now. I'm also exhausted. I've been driving for about 8 hours and gotta drive for a while now. Again, we're actually gonna check one more road up here before we go back. So yeah, this year's spring thaw, we had feet of snow. It melted in a couple of days, but it wasn't combined with rain or anything. And a couple feet of snow, spread that out a couple of days. Snow, when you condense that down to the water that's in it, a couple feet of snow is realistically only a couple of inches of rain. Not a big deal. I thought it would have been a bigger deal because the ground's frozen, it can't absorb it, everything kind of runs off. Honestly, the river level's barely elevated. Today they elevated more. There was a little bit of rain, but unfortunately, not too much flooding this year. Well, I want to take another picture of that beautiful tree just for myself. That one hanging up there, I want to get a tall picture of it. And I'm going to end this video here. I like showing these beautiful places like this sometimes. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day. You know, I said back there wasn't much of the beavers' food. This is their favorite. Willow tree. It's always right on the water. It's a type of tree during drought it'll quickly die. It can even withstand being flooded for such a long time. It takes many months for that to die, when most trees will start showing signs of being sick before that. Now up here, it's harder to come by because they're eating it at the pond. Here's one, but the rest are all very, very small because they've obviously been trimming them, and I guess that's a good, trade-off. Every now and then they have to unclog a dam here, but the Forest Service doesn't have to trim the lake, the edge here, because see, The trees can't really get that big. They're all being cut off by beavers down to nubs. Then the nubs start sprouting again, and they just keep on trimming it, cutting it down, because these are willow trees, what you see here. But they're all kept small and stubby like bushes because the beavers keep eating them. Pretty cool. The sky's so beautiful today.